Hello everyone, this is your educator Priyanka Thakur. I'm teaching you life sciences and welcome you all on our YouTube channel Gurmantra Shiksha Ka Granth. Okay, in yesterday lectures you got to know about antibiotics and toxins which inhibit the translation. Along with that you studied about siRNA and pVRNA, but you might have some confusion about that topic, but that confusion will definitely be cleared in this particular lecture. But before starting our lecture, I want to request you one thing. See, Neha Taneja ma'am is doing a lot for you guys, so it's your duty now to share these videos as much as you can. If you really want to if you're really thankful to her, you should share the playlist of these videos so that many students can watch this, and it will help us as well as with other people also. This is a small request. If you can, then please do it. Now we will start with RNA interference, but more appropriately we are going to study micro RNA interference. Okay, so we will start with the question first. Which of the following prevent peptide bond formation in eukaryotes? Here you are having your options. Choose the answer wisely. Okay, I'll wait for your answer. Nobody is replying the answer for my no, nobody is giving the answer of my questions. I'm waiting for the answers of the questions. So please do comment in the comment section. If you're watching the video, then please. Okay, fine. So let's start with miRNA interference. Here you will see some enzymes, some proteins, some complexes. You have to keep all these things in your mind. Then we will study the theoretical portion. Then again we will see a diagram so that it will become easier for you to understand this topic and you will be able to memorize it as well. Okay, after watching this video, I want you to say, okay ma'am, we understand this topic very well and I would not forget it now. Okay, so let's start with this miRNA interference, and I hope all your doubts will be cleared. This is a gene, or we can say RNA. This is also RNA. Let's talk about this one first. We know that sometimes if the mRNA is transcribed too long, then there will be the formation of a hairpin like structure due to the complementary base pairs. Okay, then this structure is known as primary miRNA. Primary miRNA is generally 21-22 nucleotides long. Okay, so it is the non-coding region. It is the non-coding RNA. You have to remember this thing, that it is a non-coding RNA. And here you can see introns are also non-coding regions. So miRNA can also be formed by introns. But see, this is a primary miRNA. It will then be attacked by Drosha and pasha. Drosha protein and pasha protein. Pasha is found only in Drosophila. In mammals, there is another protein, DGCR8. Okay, it is not found. Pasha is not found in mammals. Okay, this primary mRNA is then processed into pre-miRNA by Drosha and pasha microprocessor complex. Okay, this microprocessor complex will have some other protein in case of mammals, and primary mRNA will be processed into pre-miRNA. In case of interons, okay, interons can also form miRNA. That mRNA, or we say pre-miRNA, is known as Mirtron. But here in this case you will see no Drosha and pasha is acting on the introns. Okay, there is no role of Drosha, pasha or any protein like this. Okay, but in case of primary miRNA, Drosha and pasha will process the primary miRNA into pre-miRNA. So all these steps are occurring in the nucleus and not in the cytosol. After the pre-miRNA has been formed, it will be exported from the nucleus to the cytosol, and for this there will be requirement of GTP and some proteins. Mainly the exporting 5 protein is going to help the transport of pre-miRNA from nucleus to cytosol. Then this pre-miRNA enters the cytosol. Immediately after it enters the cytosol, it is attacked by the dicer proteins. These dicer proteins cleaves the miRNA and form the miRNA duplex having 3' overhangs. Okay. Then you cannot see the risk complex here, but I will tell you after this risk complex, this duplex will be loaded to the risk complex, and risk complex activation occur only on the single strand. One of the strand will be degraded. That strand which is degraded is actually the passenger strand, and the one which get attached to the risk, which which is actually attaching to the risk, is a guide strand. Now this guide strand along with the risk will go to the target mRNA. Actually, guide strand guides the risk complex to the mRNA. This guide strand will bind to the complementary codon on the mRNA, and risk will have the Argonaute proteins which will cause the degradation of RNA. This is all you are going to study in the next portion. After this, we will again see the diagram so that you won't forget about it anymore. Okay, fine. Let's start with our theoretical portion then. miRNA mediated interference. A microRNA, also abbreviated as miRNA, it is a small non-coding RNA molecule. This small non-coding RNA molecule generally consists of 21 or 22 nucleotides. This microRNA can be found in plants, animals, some viruses, and this miRNA function in the RNA silencing, or we can say post-transcriptional regulation of gene expression. So we know that the transcriptional regulation occur at the level of initiation transcriptional level. Okay, when the transcription initiates, and it can be regulated, gene regulation or the expression of gene regulation. Okay, gene expression can also be regulated post-transcriptionally. Fine. These miRNA, remember this thing, that these miRNA will bind to the 3' untranslated region of mRNA. Okay, this will bind with the 3' untranslated region of mRNA and will regulate the gene expression post-transcriptionally. If we talk about very first miRNA, then Lin4 was the first miRNA that was discovered by Ambrose in 1993. This Lin4, it does not encode for any kind of proteins, but it base pairs with an mRNA. It base pairs with an target mRNA, which is having the complementary base pairs. Okay, this mRNA will have the complementary sequences to that of Lin4 transcripts. Okay, after binding with that target mRNA, this Lin4 will be blocking the gene expression of the target mRNA. Actually, Lin4 controls the expression of Lin14 genes. Lin14 genes, it means that Lin4 transcripts will be binding with the Lin14 gene sequences. They will bind with the 3' untranslated sequences of Lin14. You understand? Lin4 does not code for any protein, but it will bind with an target mRNA, and that particular mRNA is of Lin40 genes. It is a Lin40 genes. Clear? So LET7, one is Lin4 and other is LET7. LET7 is also an miRNA discovered in C. elegans. Lin4 was also discovered in C. elegans. Okay, clear? Fine. They play an important role. What is the role of miRNA? miRNAs play a very important role in cell proliferation, cell cycle, their migration, progression, stem cell biology, metabolism, and chemo resistant, etc. There are a number of roles of miRNAs. Clear? So this is a basic idea you got to know about miRNAs. Let's talk about their processing now. See, miRNA, as you know, are synthesized by RNA polymerase 2. RNA polymerase 1 synthesizes most of ribosomal RNAs. RNA polymerase 2 synthesizes mRNA as well as miRNA. Some of miRNAs can also be transcribed by RNA polymerase 3, but the main enzyme that is involved in the synthesis of miRNAs is RNA polymerase 2. Transcription occurs in the nucleus, and it is synthesized as primary mRNA, as you just saw in the diagram. So it will be synthesized at primary RNA. Then Drosha, which is an RNase 3 enzyme. This RNase 3 enzyme, Drosha, is a double-stranded RNA specific endonuclease. It will bind with the double-stranded binding protein. Okay, remember, Drosha is a double-stranded specific endonuclease, but it will first bind with a double-stranded binding protein, which is pasha in case of Drosophila and DGCR8 in mammals. Remember this thing, that Drosha and pasha will form a complex in case of Drosophila, but if we are talking about mammals, then there will not be pasha, but Drosha and DGCR8 will form a complex. Okay, they will process the primary mRNA into pre-miRNAs. Okay, I hope you are understanding each and everything now. Whatever you saw in the first diagram, you are reading this right now, and I hope you are able to connect all the things. Fine. Drosha and pasha will form a complex in Drosophila, while Drosha and DGCR8 will form a complex in mammals. Okay, so they will process the primary mRNA into the pre-miRNA. DGCR8 or pasha, they will bind, okay, with Drosha and form the microprocessor complex. As I told you, Drosha and pasha will form a complex, and in case of mammals, Drosha and DGCR8 will be forming a microprocessor complex, which complex will be processing the primary miRNA into the pre-miRNA. Okay, and I also told you about Mirtrons. What are Mirtrons? Pre-miRNA can also be derived from introns, and such pre-miRNAs which are derived from introns are called Mirtrons. But these Mirtrons are not processed by microprocessor complex. Remember these things, that Mirtrons will not be processed by microprocessor complex. Then what, ma'am? You just saw in the picture that there is no role of a microprocessor complex, because there is directly the formation of pre-miRNA and not primary miRNA. Clear? After pre-miRNA is formed in the nucleus, this pre-miRNA will be transported to the cytoplasm, and this transport of pre-miRNA is mediated by a protein, mainly protein which is involved is exportin 5. Okay, in cytoplasm, this pre-miRNA will be cleaved by the dicer into RNA duplexes, which will be having the 3' overhangs. Okay, and now these RNA duplexes will be loaded onto the RISC, RNA Interference Silencing Complex. As I told you, in duplexes there are two strands. One is called passenger strand, other is called guide strand. Okay, so now let's talk about RISC. RISC is having an important member of it called Argonaute protein. This Argonaute protein is mainly responsible for microRNA mediated gene silencing. Okay, this Argonaute protein actually consists of two domains, a PAS domain and a PV domain. PAS domain named so because of PV, Argonaute and Jewel domain. This PAS domain will bind to a single strand of mRNA. You got to know, PAS domain binds to a single strand of mRNA. Okay, at 3' end, and a PV domain that resembles RNA's edge. Okay, RNA's edge. PV domain resembles the RNA's edge. Clear? Okay, fine. So, PAS domain is a mRNA binding protein, is a RNA binding protein. Okay, RNA binding domain and PV domain act as a RNA's edge. Clear? Fine. Then RNA and RNase H will be, what is the role of RNase H? It actually cleave the hybrids of DNA or RNA. As you know, RNase H, it cleave the hybrids of DNA or RNA, or maybe RNA or RNA. Fine. So see what will happen now. Remember about PV domain. It is a protein domain found in the PV proteins and a large number of related nucleic acid binding protein. Now, Argonaute is a nucleic acid binding protein, so it is also responsible for the cleavage of RNA. And PV domain is found in mainly in those proteins which are nucleic acid binding proteins, and especially those that bind and cleave the RNA. So Argonaute definitely are going to have the PV domain. Fine. The PV domain resembles RNase H, while PAS, PV Argonaute and dual domain, it will bind to single strand of RNA. Clear? Okay. In plant, there is, let's talk about plants now. There is a bit a difference in the splicing of pre-miRNA in case of plants. There is no role of, actually the role of Drosha and dicer is performed by a single protein called dicer-like protein 1. Okay. So there is no role of Drosha in, we can't say there is no role of dicer, but we would say there is no role of Drosha in case of plants. Okay, their function is performed by a single protein called dicer-like protein, and this protein convert the primary mRNA into the mature miRNA. Okay, clearly it directly convert the primary miRNA into the mature mRNA. Okay, and before it is being transported, miRNA duplexes which are already formed. Even before they are out of the nucleus, miRNA duplexes are formed. Before the transport of miRNA duplexes out of the nucleus, these duplexes, which are having the 3' overhang due to the cleavage of due to their cleavage by dicer-like proteins, they will have 3' overhangs. These 3' overhangs will be methylated by S-adenosyl methionine dependent methyl transferase is called HEN1. HEN1 will cause the methylation of 3' overhangs. See, 3' overhangs, it means the overhangs, the residues which are present toward the 3' and 3' terminal. On that, they will be causing the methylation on the 2' carbon O group. Okay, there will be the presence of oxygen atom on the second carbon. Then these HEN1 are going to cause the methylation on the 2' O. Fine. I have told you this in my previous lecture, but I told you that such a mechanism like a methylation does not occur in miRNA. Normally you saw in animals miRNA, it is not the case, but it will definitely be present in plant miRNA. Okay. So these miRNA duplexes will be separated, forming a passenger strand and a guide strand. This guide strand will guide the risk complex to mRNA. Clear? We know that one strand will be degraded during the risk activation, because risk is able to bind. Risk generally binds to a single strand. Okay. Guide strand bind with the complementary codon on mRNA and cause its degradation. What guide strand will do? Guide strand is going to bind with the complementary codon in mRNA, and the risk which is having the Argonaute protein, that Argonaute will cleave the mRNA and will cause its degradation. Now see, if there is complete complementation in between miRNA and mRNA sequences, if both the miRNA and mRNA sequences are completely complementary to each other, then Argonaute protein will cleave the mRNA and lead to the direct mRNA degradation. And it happens in plants. Okay, there is almost complete complementation in between miRNA and mRNA, and there is direct degradation of mRNAs. But in some cases, like in animals, complementation is not complete. Okay, in case of animal, complementation is not complete, then silencing is done by preventing the translation. Okay, in case of plant, in case of animal, complementation is not complete, then silencing will be done by preventing only translation. There may not be the degradation of RNA, but there might be the prevention of translation. So for example, in animals, what happened? MicroRNAs, they can recognize some seed sequences on target mRNA, and after binding with those seed sequences, now there is prevention of translation. What are seed sequences? These are the first 2 to 8 sequences starting from the 5 3 and counting towards the 3' end. Okay, clear? So this is all about miRNA interference. Let's read it once again. Let's come to know about it once again. This is a gene. This is a hairpin-like loop structure which forms the primary miRNA. This primary mRNA will be processed by Drosha and pasha in case of Drosophila, and Drosha and DGCR8 protein in case of mammals. And then there will be the formation of pre-mRNA, which is not having the 5' cap or AAA. Okay, this pre-mRNA will be transported to the cytosol with the help of exportin 5 proteins. Now after this pre-mRNA enters the cytosol, DICER will cleave this into small duplexes which will have the 3' overhangs. Now these 3' overhangs, okay, now they will be the attachment of risk, okay, the two strand, guide strand, and other one is passenger strand. During the activation of risk, one of the guide strand, passenger strand will be degraded. Now this guide strand is going to guide the risk complex to the mRNA, target mRNA, where this risk will cause the degradation of mRNA. Okay, risk is having the Argonaute protein, which is acting as an endonuclease, and that Argonaute protein is mainly responsible for the mRNA degradation. And you now know that if there is complete complementation, there will be direct degradation of mRNA. If there is not complete complementation of miRNA and mRNA, then there will be only the silencing of translation. There will be the prevention of translation only. In case of animals, miRNA recognizes the seed sequences. And what are seed sequences? These are the sequences which are present, which we read from. These are the 2 to 8 nucleotide sequences from 5' to 5' end, and we read it towards the 3' end. That's all. And this is the siRNA mediated RNAi. You know that double-stranded RNA hairpin loop structures are not that common in case of siRNA mediated RNA interference. Okay, siRNAs, double-stranded RNAs there. DICER will be acting. There is no role of Drosha and pasha. DICER will be acting. Okay, these as siRNA duplexes will be having the 3' overhangs. This will be methylated. Argonaute protein will be acting, but before risk complex will be formed. Okay, the two strands will be separated. One is our passenger, other one is our guide strand. Guide strand will take the risk complex to the target mRNA, where the guide strand will form the complementary base pairing with the mRNA, and risk will have Argonaute protein which will cleave the mRNA, and it will cause the degradation of target mRNA, and hence gene silencing will take place. So is everything clear to you now, or you are having any problem in understanding this particular topic? If you are having any problem, then do tell me in the comment section. If you misunderstood anything, do comment. Please don't do like this, you are disliking the video directly. Okay, please comment. You can comment in the comment section, ma'am, we didn't get this point. Okay, we will definitely tell you. Otherwise, it's all your choice. You are not bound to only like the video. You are not even liking and not disliking, but must post your doubts regarding this lecture. That's all for today. So you can happily follow us wherever you want, but I have requested you one thing. Please listen to my request, and if you can, then please share this lecture with your friends, or as many as people you know who are preparing for the GATE Life Sciences. Okay, it will help many of us, including us. It will be very helpful. Thank you. That's all for the day. Take care. Stay safe.